Jimmy Uso returned, in-ring promo with Roman Reigns, and we all were on this incredible high of Jimmy Uso returning at Bad Blood and the save that he made, and we're on the same page and we embrace, and it's all great. But when we get to this promo on SmackDown, Jimmy really puts Roman in his place. He pulls out the Cody Rhodes line. You're a chief without a tribe, and nobody in the family except me is following you right now. So then we get to later at the end of the night, and these guys get beaten down by the bloodline, and Jimmy says, we need help. We need help. Well, Jared's got the shades on. Who does it? Jared,
Yeet.
Calling out Jey Uso. Jared, we saw it tonight on Monday Night Raw. Jimmy showed up and he confronted his brother, and his brother wanted nothing to do with him. But man, this is a slow burn. It's awesome to see Jimmy being the peacemaker, bringing everybody back together. Really cool way that they've started to tell this story.
So here's what I think is going to happen, man. And you just said slow burn, but I think it's going to be a little bit of a faster burn than we may think. I was watching it live tonight with my wife. You know, she likes to ask questions, and sometimes she doesn't know things. And so she was kind of she was asking me about like Jey Uso, and then she can't stand Braun Breaker. She calls him the insane psycho guy that she just doesn't like.
Either. She hates him.
She just doesn't like him. I mean, that's just the end of the story. Nope, she doesn't like him. Anyways, what I said, you see, before the show's over, they put up the logo where you're going to have Braun Breaker versus the Yeet Man next Monday. Perfect time for Jey to go ahead and drop that title right back to Braun, and that frees him up to hook right back up with Jimmy and Roman. And I was like, This is exactly where it's going. And she's like, oh, okay. She probably didn't care a bit, but she acted like she did. For my sake, probably.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Andy, what were your thoughts on the execution of this? And then, man, Jimmy showing up tonight.
Yeah, I think it's a kind of a clear direction of where we're probably heading, which we've all kind of been speculating for a while about heading into War Games. All I know is whenever they're all getting beat down and Jay's music hits, the place is going to go nuts because they didn't even have to direct the crowd to Yeet when they started, when he said we need help. Like, it was instant. As soon as he said we need help, they started doing it. And then tonight, you know, I think it's funny, like you brought up, that Jimmy's the peacemaker, because this is all his fault still.
Yes,
he's the one that kicked Roman first. So like, why wouldn't he be the peacemaker? Because that part of the story still is very like all over the place to me. Because Jimmy kicked Roman first, and then got mad at Jey for kicking Jimmy or for kicking Roman. It was a whole big convoluted mess. But Jimmy being the peacemaker makes sense. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think we're going to get a couple of weeks of, you know, maybe next week, Jimmy comes out to try to help Jey because maybe there's interference or Braun's attacking him afterwards or whatever, and they still don't shake hands or something like that. But this is going to remind us of how long it took for them to rebuild the Shield back together until the moment we finally got the fist bump in the ring and the place just went nuts. I think we're heading to that level with these three guys.
I think, Andy, to piggyback on exactly what you're saying, if you listen to what Roman said in this promo the other night, if you listen to what he said, it's almost like he's doing these babyface things. We've all separately at least texted and talked about the moves that Roman did in the match at Bad Blood and how weird it was. But so he's doing these babyface things. But guys, he's still cutting a promo like the heel head of the table. And you've got Jimmy being the one who's like, no, Oos. No, like you got to change your ways. So there could be this, Jared, this harsh reality that Roman still has to face, that he has to change his ways in order not only for Jimmy's already said he's on his side, but for Jey to accept him. What about the way, if we're booking down the road, what about the way that he treated Sami Zayn on his way out? These guys all have to forgive him. He's got to change his ways. So Jared, like you said, it might be quick, but there's still going to be this slow Roman Reigns evolution into the babyface. And then maybe we get the Ula follow back and then we turn it all around and we're a heel again, but we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's exactly what's happening. And I mean, I think Roman has already started to kiss up, I guess would be the best way to say it. I mean, you know, he says, let's all recognize Big Jim. And, you know, everybody cheered for him. And how many times has Roman ever, like, you know, said that about anybody other than himself? Right. Acknowledge me. It's never been acknowledged, you know, the wise man, Big Jim. I've never even heard him called Big Jim. Big Jim, Jey, none of the other ones. So I think that he's going to have to really go back, man, and, you know, try to right some of his wrongs. And I think that would be a great story to follow over the weeks. Wouldn't he kind of have to go in between shows if that was something he was going to do, though? Or are they all on the same show?
Well, no? Jey's on Raw. So Jimmy went over. I don't know how much Roman would get over to Raw. Jimmy would probably be the middleman. Would not shock me if Paul Heyman somehow becomes the middleman.
I can't wait till he comes back. Cannot wait.
I know.
Ladies and gentlemen, and the roof will blow off the place.
The minute that happens, oh my gosh, Andy, like Jared just said, there will be no roof on whatever arena they're in. No roof.
No. Yeah, it'll be. He'll get a bigger pop than anybody that night. I can promise you that the place will go absolutely nuts whenever that happens. I will say this about Roman's still trying to be a heel while being a babyface at the same time.
Yep.
I don't necessarily want him to be full on babyface though, because the thing that we love about Roman is that heelish character to him, like the things that he says, the way that he, you know. Rock says he's the final boss, but buddy, when Roman walks out there, sometimes he's got that final, like, you know, you have to go through me vibe to get to him. And I think that's something that we can't lose with Roman. I think that's something that has to stay, whether he's a babyface or a heel or whatever you want to call him. I hope we don't lose that edge of him, but it is going to be really interesting to see him kind of go through this character change, because we haven't seen a babyface Roman that has worked yet, which is really weird to kind of sit back and look, because the big dog Roman never worked. And then he was heel tribal chief the last few years. So how is he going to mesh those two kind of together to create this new OTC babyface or whatever it's going to be? It's going to be really interesting to see how they navigate through that situation.
Yep. I completely agree. It's definitely uncharted waters. It's definitely sticky. They definitely have to really play their cards right and all that kind of stuff. So it'll be interesting. Roman is scheduled, I think, for every SmackDown between now and Survivor Series, or at least pretty close to it. So we're going to get a whole lot of Roman Reigns talk over the next couple of weeks. Make sure you're tuned in right here on our YouTube channel, or if you're listening on podcast, follow on whatever platform that is. We would greatly appreciate it.